Hi everyone and welcome to my craft room. Today just a very short quick video showing you a couple of variations I found on this really lovely gift box. I found it on Pinterest in various forms. It's a lovely simple gift box and you can produce multiples of them fairly quickly, so they'd be very handy for group gifts and things like that. Just bear with me, I'm going to see that my volume and everything is working, so just bear with me. Yep, there we go, it is. Cool. So basically it's a rectangular gift box, which is quite unusual. It really appeals to my mathematical brain with its sort of angles and sort of sides and everything, but I really like it, but I struggle to work out what you could actually put in it as a gift. So I had a bit of a play and came up with a slightly less variation, but it's actually got a larger gift giving size inside. You can see it's a fair bit, it sort of lacks the sharpness at the end, but it's got a bigger capacity for gift giving. So I'll do both of them, just show you the variation I made to this original design to get something a little bit more practical, if not a little bit less exciting. But anyway, so these ones here I've created with cardstock and decorated them with the Timeless Tulips stamp set and punch. So I've made this a Mother's Day variation of that. So the cardstock is rich raspberry, and the ribbon is the polka dot white ribbon, and the colours on the tulips are rich raspberry and old olive. So that's basically that on those two. I'm going to make a slight variation here. I'm going to use designer series paper instead of cardstock, and I'm going to use the honeybee bundle to decorate the front. So as I say, I'll give the measurements and things are exactly the same as these two. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what you need is a 4-inch by 12-inch piece of designer series paper or cardstock. So you can get, so at 4 centimetres wide, you can actually get 3 of these from a single 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. And then you have to start folding and scoring. So basically you score it in half, exactly down the long end, so exactly in half. And then what you do is you score from this corner to the centre. So you can see there I've scored this one already, so straight from the corner to the centre and on both sides, and then on the other side as well. So you can actually fold it and score once with our wonderful trimmer, and it'll score all the way through for you. So you're basically ending up with a piece of cardstock scored in the middle with a sort of diamond sort of shape scored in the centre. Just bear with me, I'll sit down for a second. Okay, so as I say, that is basically it, and that is basically our little box here. Oh, I don't know if I want to even call it a box, our little gift bag. Okay, so then to get your, to seal it at the top, you just grab a hole punch, just a small sort of 1/8 of an inch hole punch. Grab the two sides here, so line them up and hold them together and just punch a hole towards the top, and then do the same on the other side. Just hold them together and grab your hole punch and punch, and then if you put both sides together you've got a hole that goes all the way through, and you can just feed some ribbon. Here I've got the beautiful gold ribbon that came with the Christmas is Coming bundle, but I've got plenty of it left, so you could use any ribbon that you like. Just pop it through there, and then you just tie a bow. So as I said, that design really appeals to me design wise, but it's not overly, I don't think, overly practical for gift giving. I suppose you could get a few lollies in there or something, or I don't know. I've been joking that you could get the keys to your new Porsche, but possibly not much else. Anyway, we'll decorate this one anyway. I love this paper. This is the Honeybee Designer Series paper, and it's got a beautiful honeycomb gold design on it. So I can see it there in the light from my window. Just really, really lovely. Okay, so we've got our ribbon there tying the top. So then what I thought we'd do is use the Honeybee dies and stamps. So I have here, just to form a base, I've got a stitched shape oval. This is the largest stitched oval, so that's going to sit on there just to give us a base for our decorations. Then from the honeycomb, the Honeybee dies, I've got the beautiful honeycomb. I've done that out of some gold foil. I'm going to sit that up there. Then I have stamped and die cut the beehive from the stamp set. I'll just show you the stamp set just in case you haven't seen it. It's absolutely my favourite from the new 2020 mini catalogue. Here it is here. So if you haven't seen it, we've got a little bee here, a lovely big bee. Got some flowers. You know, bees need their flowers. And we've got the beehive, and we've got some lovely little sentiments as well. So this is really a lovely stamp set. I think I'm going to be keeping it and using it forever and ever. It does have some dies that go with it. I've got them here as well. Yep, here it has some dies that go with it, and we're using those here. This Designer Series paper is actually a celebration freebie. So if you spend $90 Australian, you can choose this paper, and this is just one of the designs, absolutely free during celebration. And celebration goes through to the end of March. Okay, so I've got my I might just take that, just decorate my oval while I've got it here. So I've got my stitched oval and my honeycomb. So I'm going to pop that on there. Then I'm going to be putting my beehive on top. So I'm not going to bother gluing that down because it's going to get held in place with the dimensionals when I put my beehive together. So I'm just going to put some large dimensionals on the back of the beehive. Now, you could put some glue on your honeycomb, of course, but I just find it's very, very fine, and glue goes everywhere. So it's not really necessary when you're going to be using dimensionals over the top. So I'll pop him on there, just put him in the right place. And I'm going to put my beehive over the top. Not cover him over too much, it's a bit of a waste. Try and get him central and relatively straight. Yep, there we go. So we've got our beehive, we've got our honeycomb coming out the back of it, and we've got some bees, some cute little bees. So these are the small bees from the set. Should have 3 here, 3. What I'm going to do is just give them a little bit of colour. I'm just going to get the dark Daffodil Delight, which is also the colour of the honeycomb, the beehive. And just colour in their white stripes, so they've got yellow stripes instead. You could also do their wings in, say, a blue or a grey, but I think they're fine the way they are. Okay, so then what we're going to do is pop our bees around our beehive, so they're sort of swarming around. Grab another dimensional, put one on the back here. So I'm going to have one, so he's just sort of coming in from the top, and then the other 2. There we go, coming in from one side, and another one sort of hanging around on this side. He's headed out to find some flowers. Okay, and then I have this is a Stitched So Sweetly rectangle, so it's just stitched. It's one of the new dies. That's just got a lovely serrated edge, or yeah, sort of lacy edge with some stitches. So I've put Thinking of You Sweet Friend, which is also from the stamp set, and I'm going to pop that just down the bottom on what's left of our space on our little, on our little oval there, just there, like that. Cool. So that is how I'm going to decorate our little bag. So I'll bring our bag back in, just pick the side we like. I'm going to pop that just on the edge of there like that. I might just put a little bit more glue and pop that on there. Just up. I don't want it overlapping too much, but a little bit's just fine. Because I've got, this is also from the die set, this is a beautiful sort of ornate bee, and I've done him in gold. So I want to put him in here as well. I'm going to have him coming up from the bottom there. So just a little bit of glue on the back of him, just on the largest parts of his foil, and then just pop him on there. So he's just coming into picture there. A little bit too much glue. Okay, so that's the gift box decorated. So how do you like that? It's quite unusual, isn't it? It really appeals to me. I don't know, it's the shape, it's the angles, don't know, but it really does appeal. If my Mr. B will stay on there. Cool, so there is the first one. So as I say, thinking that this is probably not the most practical shape in the world, I've had a little bit of a play and I've actually come up with a slight variation to give us a bit more room. Okay, so what on my variation you need to do, first of all, you also start with the same piece, size piece of cardstock, so it's 4 inches by 12, and this time you actually score it, so you form a base. So actually I've scored this at 5.5 and 6.5 inches. So basically it's the same distance from there to there and from there to there. So, and then also score it 1/2 inch in from each edge, just in that inch there. I don't know if you can see that. But basically what I've done, I'll just draw a quick picture on my grade paper. I've got a long piece of cardstock, designer series paper. I've scored it in the middle and then scored it again just in there. I hope that makes sense. I'll put, I might make a proper picture and put it on in the comments. So scoring it there and scoring it there. And then what I'm going to do is cut little tabs in here. Okay, so here I have here, so I don't know if you can see it with the paper, but I've actually scored it here, and I've got little scores here and here. And I'm just going to cut those in there to create little tabs. It's a little bit more complicated than the first one, which was basically just score and fold. So there, hopefully that shows you what I mean. I've got little tabs here, just in the central part. Okay, so the reason I've cut those little tabs and folded them up is because you need to see, sorry, I've moved my thing. You need to see where you're going to be scoring. So that you need to score from the inside of that cut to the centre on both sides. We can't do them all at once this time, so I'll just have to straighten myself up a little bit. So from the inside there, that corner, to the centre. And I'll add all these score lines to my diagram when I put them in, when I put it in the comments. There's one score there. And then again from the corner to the middle. And turn it around from the inside corner to the middle. Inside corner to the middle. And on the same thing, inside corner to to middle. Now don't score too hard with your designer series paper, because with our wonderful scorer, or whatever scorer you're using, you can go straight through and give it a hole instead of a fold. Okay, I'll just put that up there. Okay, so we're going to have the gold on the outside again. So we're folding, and there you can see what I've done. So we've got 2 folds there, and the same there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We've got our 2 little tabs there, our base, and then the same as our first one, we've got our flaps that fold in. So we do have to fold up here as well. Okay, so score here and here, score there and there, and a little tab that you've cut in the centre. Okay, so for the rest of it, it's exactly the same. You just grab your hole punch, grab one side, hold them sort of firmly into each other, and then hole punch, and the same on the other side. You can see with this one, instead of going down to a point, it actually just goes down to a flat base. Actually, I don't think I've held that one correctly. Just bear with me, I'm going to punch that one again. Cool. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to bring in some of the beautiful gold ribbon. Feed it through one side and out the other, and tie a bow. There. Okay, so what you can do here, because you've cut it at an angle, once you've got it all tied off, you can just bring your scissors in and cut those little angles off straight, so that your base is perfectly flat, and it will stand up. It will stand up, mostly. Okay, so you can see here we've made the same sort of shaped box, but we've got a bit of a base here, and we've actually got a lot more, gift giving space here. We've got a lot more room for a present. You could get some lollies or some chocolates, or a gift box. You could get a little jewellery box in there if you were doing that way inclined. Okay, so I'll decorate this one as well, and I've actually already created our little beehive decoration. So the same thing with our little bees and a honeycomb and the beehive with our thinking of you friend. I'm just going to attach that on the side like I did before. A little bit higher so that I can get my beautiful gold bee in at the bottom. There we are, and Mr. Bee. Just coming in from there. He overhangs a little bit more with this one because it's a little bit narrower at the bottom, but that's fine. Okay, so there we are, 2 quite interesting gift boxes. I hope you agree. Beautiful decorations with our honeybees. I'm sure you could get some sort of honey theme in there, maybe make some honey lollies or something to pop in there to give our bit of a honey theme. Yeah, so they're really good. Had a bit of a play with the design, and I'll show you some of the other ones I've come up with that might inspire you to make some of your own. So as you saw before, I have the ones with the timeless tulips, the same sort of thing, sort of a narrow one and a blockier one with the tulips. I also created, this is a very large one, so this is actually half a sheet of 12 by 12 paper. Same sort of thing, scored and folded and held with ribbon. So that's a bigger one again. That's sort of like the same, that's the same depth, same height as the others, but it's a lot broader. So that's just playing with the paper and the dimensions to see what you can do. I've got a cute one here with the the beautiful designer series paper from the Christmas Time Is Coming bundle that was on sale here a while ago, and I've made a little gift tag with that one from the stamp set with a happy birthday. So I was determined to use that one all year round, so I've given that a little bit of a go there. So that one's quite sweet as well. And what I really like is if you use half a piece of 6x6 designer series paper, so if you use it's a 3x6 piece of paper, and do exactly the same thing, you get these cute little ones here. So they're sort of 3 inches across the bottom and quite tiny, so you get some chocolate eggs or something in there, or some chocolate coins. And with that in mind, I've made a couple here that I thought, see if you can work out where I'm going with this. These are half pieces of Christmas paper. This is from the Perfectly Plaid designer series paper, and I have made them with a little date on the front. So if you make 24 of those with the dates through from the 1st to the 24th and put them up on a little Christmas tree, you've got a really wonderful advent calendar. So I might experiment with those as we get a little bit closer to the end of the year. So if you had, I know I've got a little sort of 1 metre Christmas tree that I bring out some years when I can't be bothered with the big one. So put 24 of these on there, you've got an advent calendar that's really sweet and reusable, because all you need to replace is the string. Okay, so yeah, watch out for more of that as we get closer to Christmas. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you in this video. These two here are what we've made. Quite an interesting gift box with the lovely with the bees, and really great with the sort of gold accents that we've added. So as I say, I'll put the measurements into the comments and the scoring instructions, and yeah, so please subscribe to my channel to keep up with my new videos, and I hope you enjoyed that one, and I will see you all again next time.